Howdy folks, welcome back to Out of Ore. I've moved the plant, and in this video we're going to do a major plant rebuild. So what I've done is I've basically moved what I had over to another area, and then I got water piped up not only to the wash plant, but also to the coal power. I think that makes it more efficient. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's how that works. So I've got it all hooked up. I need to do a little bit more cleanup. As you can see here, we got some stuff buried in the ground. Need to do a little more cleanup. And then we're going to add on a whole bunch of stuff. So if you look at my money in the top right, you're like, oh, 16 grand. I had about 350. And then I spent a smelter, high temp smelter. I got a bunch of stuff. I had to buy a bunch of pipes to get all the water to work. As you can see, it's a little bit a pain in the butt because we don't have vertical piping. If we had vertical piping, this would be way easier, but I finally got it all to fit, and I ran it a little bit just to make sure it still works like it's supposed to, and it does. Well, let's get started. We're going to knock off that storage, knock off this storage. We're going to eventually combine those, and then I think I'll have a... Well, I might want to have them separate, though. I think I'll have separate storage. But they're both going to end up going to the sell point, and then I can run through the dirt or I can run through the coal and sell them off to the sell point. But after it comes through here, we need to split off. We'll have gold and silicon ore that we need to split off. Gold can go through regular smelter. Silicon has to have the high temp smelter. So we're going to have that all set up. And I decided to do it here on the mountainside to help with the verticality. And we'll see how that goes. Anyway, you can see I've got the water comes through there. The only thing coming out of this should be coal. I don't think we'll be running any stone or anything, so we're not going to worry about stone for now. We basically just have dirt, pay dirt, coal, and then we've got iron and copper if we go get some out of the mine. So let's get started. We need to add on some things. And yeah, the coal comes out of there. I'm not sure where this is going to go yet. Let's kind of see where the metals end up. I've been kind of trying to move it down the mountain as we go. So kind of the first thing we need to do is this high temp sorter. Let me go back to the store and take a look at that because it is it's a little goofy. Yeah, so this would pull out... It says it pulls out iron and silicon. And the reason it does that is because you can take iron ore, and if you put it in the high temp smelter, you get steel. If you put it in the regular smelter, you just get iron. Strangely enough, you don't need coal or anything to make the steel. But anywho, so we want the high temp sorter, and that will get us, that'll let the gold go through, and it'll pull the silicon out. And then any iron or copper will go where it needs to go. But the main thing is we get the silicon out so we can go to the high temp smelter. So that comes out the back like a lot of these things do. So we're going to kind of have to do some experimenting and see how we can make this work. Let's get the high temp sorter up there. If I just slap that on there, this comes out the back. It's going to be kind of buried into the mountain a bit. So I haven't seen how I want this to work, so there's going to be a lot of, like I said, experimentation going on here. So it's something like that, then we could come out this way, and this would be into the high temp smelter. So I'm not sure where that goes. I'm not sure how big it is really what I meant to say. So we could possibly put that like in here if we came across with a straight. Do I have a straight? I've got some 4 meters. So we did that, and then I stuck that on there. That kind of lines up. We might be able to make that work. And then this would be ingots, which we could then slap into storage. So how much digging would I have to do here? That's the question. I did get a bunch of wood blocks made up so we can make this look all purty. All right, and that comes out at least another block, if not 2. That gives me kind of an idea where I need to dig. So we're going to be doing a lot of hand digging in this video, a lot of tweaking as we get everything where we want it. And I haven't really had any comments. I've been doing this series in first person. I kind of enjoy that. But let me know. There is a third person. In case you're new to the game, haven't watched any other videos or any of my previous series. There is a third person option. So I think we can make this work. Let's do this. And you could have just stuff floating in the air. You don't have to, have them sit on stuff. I just think it looks a lot better, personally. So we'll get that going. That going. So that takes care of the high temp. And then what if we then came around and you go to the right and then to the right. If we had the other smelter like right here, we could then merge those together into a single storage. Then we're getting into some seriously high territory here. So we'd have to kind of do that. If they would even sit together. I don't know if they'll sit together. So let's take a quick look here. So if we slap that on there, then I'm stuck. Whoops. You can get stuck inside of stuff in this game, so be careful. Let's stick that on there, and then, yeah, it's a little too wide, so it's going to have to come out 2 more. So that gets really high in the air, which is just a little concerning for aesthetics. Like, would you build cribbing this high? No. No, you would not. Well, here, let's see what it looks like before we get too carried away. So that's the downside of having this on the mountainside. It's good for when you need to change verticality. It becomes a little bit of a pain otherwise. I need some longer straights, so I'm going to teleport down to the teleport down to the shop. And then we're going to go to conveyors. And I want the straight 8 meters. Can I buy 2 of those? Barely. I'm running out of money because I spent it all on this stuff. We need to get the process going again. But yeah, it only took me like maybe an hour through a few different play sessions of running material. And I had like 350 grand. It's not a big deal. And then I let it run overnight. And it processes through all the things. But anywho. Whee! The jump is so ridiculous. Alright, let's get our straight on here. So you run across there, and then we need one of those. Oh, we need to come over one. I thought that was going to line up. I was not looking at it properly. So I need one of the little guys. I thought I had a straight 2 meter. So need one of these guys on here, and then we come back to the right. We go out, and then we need the straight 4 meter. So how dumb does it look if we have these 2 refinery or smelters sitting here? Let's go smelter. Is it going to clip into there? Nope, they sit right next to each other. It does look kind of dumb, unfortunately. Is this one bigger, or did I do that wrong? Oh, I did it wrong. So we do need the, where's my 2 meter go? Straight 2 meter. Just need you like that. I got confused because I didn't have the cribbing on that one. Then if we do that, then they're setting beside each other. There we go. And then I don't know if they're sitting that close together. Can we make a merger work? I bought it. Yeah, I bought a merger. No, because they're going to be too over. We don't have a direct 90-degree bend. All we have is these guys. So we have that. Can we merge in from the other direction? There's not like variants of this, unfortunately. We need more options. That would be great. Basically, if I wanted to merge those in, as far as I know, we don't have a little side merger. That would be great. Let's go double check here. Store conveyors. See if I just search for merger. Yeah, we need a pipe merger variant of this. This takes up 3 blocks, unfortunately. So if I wanted a merger there, nice and clean, I'd have to separate this out quite far. And I don't have the real estate to do that. So that is unfortunate. Now, I could come out, possibly, you know, do some conveyor gymnastics and make it work. I may end up just slapping a storage on each one of those. Because we're already getting kind of crazy. All right, so the high temp goes into there. Everything else comes over here and gets smelted. Is there going to be anything that doesn't get smelted that comes out of there? Yes, there is. So what we really need to do is separate that out. But I don't know, do we have a way to separate that out? I think there is a metal sorter. So we look for metal ore sorter. Yeah, so that would pull out just the... That doesn't pull out silicon, though. So that doesn't work. The coal screen, which doesn't do us any good. I don't know that we do. What's the shaker screen? That's just for coal or rock. That doesn't do us any good. Yeah, that doesn't do us any good. So I don't know that there's any way to sort out the... Because we're going to have diamond and ruby ore that we need to sort out. This just takes... Yeah, that takes in gravel. Would not pull it out. I don't think there is a way to pull that out, unfortunately. Is it just supposed to go on through? Don't actually know. Well, somebody can let me know in the comments if they figured out a way to sort around that. Because your wash plant, it's going to send out the diamond ore and the ruby ore. Now, as far as I know, they will go through the smelter and into storage. It's just not, you know, very realistic. But I guess we can assume that the smelter is sorting them out. As far as I know, there's no way to process the diamonds or ruby ore unless you have the small wash plant. Yeah, I don't see any way to do that. So we're just going to deal with ingots, I think, at this point. So everything is going to go into a... What I wanted to do was merge these into a single bar roller. Not have to carry anything by hand. Did I buy the... I did buy the bar roller. So we do need to do the... Let's just do the conveyor gymnastics. It's going to kind of be stupid, but it is what it is. So let's see if we can figure that out. So if I have the merger... Yeah, we can't make it go the other way, unfortunately. You can't rotate these. You're really limited. I hope they can change this at some point. You have to jump through a lot of hoops to get this to do what you want to do. I want it to snap on the other end. I don't know of any way to do that. I can't rotate. It wants to snap the way it wants to snap, and that's it. And I don't have a straight 4, but I have a 4 and a 2. So I guess I can do that and that, and then we'll stick another one over here, and then if I pull this guy out, then I stick the merger on there. Can I get it to go the way I want it to go? Nope. Not really. Okay, let's try a different tactic. And we'll just have to experiment. I don't know for sure how we're going to get this to work. So we're going to need to come out probably at least a 4. So let's come out of 4, and then we'll do a a right-hand turn. Nope. Your other right. Left-hand turn. We come into the merger, and then we're kind of getting into the road, but I think we can make it through there. Or should we go out? No, let's go out, because we're going to have our bar roller right on the road. That's not going to work. So do another straight 4 here. Then we can have our merger into the bar roller. And then we'll see if we can get this to work. So we have our bar roller here. Floating in midair. Don't worry, we'll get some cribbing under that. Now I have to see, can I get this to hook up to that? And that's a great question. I don't know that I can. Yeah, it's not going to be far enough away, unfortunately. So we don't have a 1 block ankle changer. That would be fantastic, but I understand with the conveyor belts, it's not that straightforward. So yeah, I would need to come out. So this guy needs to come out another, and then go to the right. And then come back into the merger. So then this guy needs a 2. It's convoluted. So you need a straight 2. And then you can do a left hand. Then you can do the straight 4. And then we can do the merger. And then you need to be in a different spot. And we're almost into the road again. This might even need to come down at some point. So you can see what you get into trying to get this to work. So to get those guys to merge in, we have to do that. Alternatively, we could move this over like 3 blocks, and then they could merge in together. But then we're even higher off the ground, which is kind of crazy. So what I might end up doing is going down the slope. I mean, that works, but it's kind of all over the place and kind of stupid. So let's get rid of that. Let's not do that. And then let's do a... Let me get my stuff back here. So we got left, right, and I think, yeah, I've got some downs. Kind of want the little straight. So let's do you and then a left. Then we start coming down. See, if I had like the little single merger guy, it'd be perfect. But I think I can do that. I wonder, actually, could I just drop into it? That's a thought. That's a thought. So I think you could do that with dirt and stuff. Does that work with the regular stuff? Could I just do that and it just pours in there? Maybe that would work. Then we don't have to do the merger. Yeah. Somebody's probably already typed that in. They haven't watched the whole video. We could try that. And then we just go right into our bar roller. Which is here. There it is. Stick that on the end. So let's go. There's a thought. What if we just did that? Then into the bar roller. Then we just have this little bit of a intrusion here on the road that's not too bad. Wonder if that would actually work. It might work. Oh, the storage, right? I don't have the storage on here yet. So I can't do that. That no worky. Let's get our other down guy on there, and then we come back to the left. Nope. Come back to the right. I knew what I meant. Then we throw our bar roller on. Wow, we're still well over, huh? I should have yeah, I've got some storages here. I mean, it's convoluted, but it's kind of there. It's not great, but it's not terrible. Does it work? That's the real question. Does it actually work? Let's throw some blocks in here, at least temporarily. So in theory, then, we would end up with all of the bars in that storage. Clear as mud. All right, everything comes in here. The trauma will send dirt and pay dirt out here. Now we need dirt. Is dirt just going to go through the smelters and into the storage? Probably. It's not really a great way to sort that out that I know of. I mean, you could do you could throw a metal sorter on there and then you sort of end up with stuff you want, but not really. I think the dirt will just end up in storage, so it's not the worst thing ever. So anyway, if I failed to mention, I sold the sluice box and we have the wash plant now. The only difference is the wash plant sends everything on through rather than you collecting it out of here. I think that might work. Let's run some stuff and we'll see what happens. Well, are we set? Oh no, we're not set up for our coal capture yet, are we? We need to capture the coal. So the problem is I wanted to sell off the dirt. But the dirt just comes on through here. We can't really sort it out as far as I know. I could with another trommel. You keep adding on to the plant. You could definitely do that. We could have another trommel after this, and then the dirt would get sorted out. That is a possibility. I think I'll just try it like this for now. Except I need to capture the coal. So we'll just come down into the storage here because I'm running out of money. I need to make some money. Then we can make this a little better probably. Instead of having 20-foot tall cribbing. We could route it elsewhere. So yeah, I might end up putting a trommel in here somewhere just to get the dirt. Because the dirt would come through this high temp sorter, so we could actually put a trommel right there, couldn't we? I don't have enough money right now, but once we earn some money, I could put a trommel right in here, and then that would separate out the dirt. Right? Here's our water pump. We got our water purifier. I think this helps make it more better. That tees off. It goes into both of these. Let's run some material. Let's do it. We're pulling 1,400 kilowatts now, which is not even half of what we're capable of, so we're all good there. Light on, beacon on. Let's make sure we get some pay dirt in here. My area's getting a little rough. I need to spend some time smoothing it up. But for now, let's make sure we got some pay dirt to dump in here. Tried our fancy new plant. So we should get some gold bars out the other end. We're not going to have, you know, iron or copper unless I dump it in there. But we should get some coal from the, or sorry, we should get some gold from the pay dirt. I was looking at the coal and said coal. And then we should also get silicon, which then we can combine over there in that smelter to make rubber. I don't know of any way to automate making the rubber. Got ready for some more boom boom over here. Alright, I'm gonna dump this in and then we'll go check and see. Make sure we're not just dumping material everywhere. That should flow down. We're getting dirt and pay dirt out the back of that. Wash plant's going. Should be getting coal over in that guy if we picked up some coal. I see some metal going on through. Got smelters, hopefully smelting. See this? Everything just passes right on through here. It doesn't capture anything. Ooh, I see some stuff coming out of the bar roller. So it looks like that's working. That's just dropping onto the conveyor belt. There are some visual artifacts occasionally. Or is that... Oh, that might be... Is that like dirt or something? Open crate. No, it says it's melted gold. Why are you not falling on there? Is that... Does it only pass the loose material on through? I have a sneaking suspicion. Yeah, so that's not going to work for the gold bars, unfortunately. We'll have to actually hook it up. It won't flow. I mean, melted gold bars shouldn't be on the conveyor anyway, I guess, but yeah, that's too bad. I don't think we can put this in there. I don't know what we can do with this now. Unless I can slap storage on there. Turn on the pad. That might actually work. So, okay, we're gonna have to redo that. Fair enough. So I might have to temporarily grab... Why are you still playing noise? Because you're a bug? Okay, fair enough. Let's grab this storage, which should give us some coal. And then let me see if I can temporarily... Oh, come on, autosave. That's the bar roller, so let's... Terraforming lock, that's fine. We're not doing any terraforming at this moment. So if I put the storage there, and then I put the gold in there, and then I turn the pass-through on? Yeah, now we can feed it in. That's such a good change, having that actually work. Ooh. Uh-oh. Did we run out of power? No, it's all green. Why you're not bar rolling? Does that not work? The pass-through doesn't work for that? Well, it does for coal and loose stuff. Turn pass-through on. Yes, please. We're making power. Everything else is powered. I guess you just can't do that. Okay. Well, we'll do this. How about that? Take that. Okay, so a redesign is in order. That much we learned. But everything else worked fine. All the loose stuff passes on through. But we're going to have to use the actual merger. Because that dropping off like that only works for loose material. Which, I mean, that makes sense. It does kind of make sense. We're getting kind of full here. All right, let's get our left and right back up here. And then we have our downs. Yeah, that's not going to work. All right. So this down basically follows the slope. Or do we come across here and then down? See, I have to find out I have to figure out a way to have these end up 3 blocks apart facing each other. Because that's the merger. Okay, so if I did a right, no, a left, no, a right, if you actually pick the right block, there you go. And then our merger, no, I want you to go the other direction. This is such a pain. Let me rotate this block, please. Please, Dev. Can I rotate this block? Not have to jump through hoops. Okay, so I need a straight 4 and a straight 2. Straight 4, straight 2, some random block. Then I should be able to stick the merger on here the way I want. Nope. This needs to be facing the other direction. Son of a... I can't rotate you. Dadgummit. It's because it's rotated the wrong direction. Okay. Well, I want the merger... Or should I put the merger this way? Go around. Man, that's going to be so much conveyor belt, though. Just out of curiosity, so that puts it there. Just not great either. It's just so convoluted because we're limited by, you know, the certain blocks we can use. Because they're conveyors. I get it. It's a conveyor. It has to, you know, change direction. Tell you what, I'm going to put a cut in here. I'm going to see if I can figure this out. And I'll be back. Alright, I think I got it. I'm just doing some cleanup here. Do some cleanup around the pipes as well. It takes a lot of conveyors, but yeah, we have sort of a solution. There's a little more vertical stuff going on here than I really want, but as I make more money, I think I can refine this and make it more better. So the question becomes, where do I need to put this? There? Nailed it. Just to make this look like it's, you know, somewhat supported. Nope, over one. It's kind of redonkulous. Not super happy with this, but it'll do for now, I think. I think for now we can make it work. Now, how do I get you up there? Not like that. Not like that. Not like that. Not like that. Oh, so close. I've got blocks floating out here in the middle of the air. Nice. How do I get to that? We're gonna have to do the Superman jump off the conveyor here. Oh no! Good thing there's no fall damage in this game. The jump height's a little ridiculous. If I change this to snap build, can I get you to go on top? There we go. Normally I want the grid build, but I think that'll work for now. Alright, let's play Can I Hit That Block over there? Not doing that, I can't. Oh, come on, game. Nailed it. First try. Oh, I fell through the block? Oh, I got it, though. Okay. Yeah, this is kind of dumb. But that's okay. We can do kind of dumb for a little bit. We have massive amount of cribbing. It's all holding everything together. Just believe with me. It's all okay. I do need to do some more digging around the pipes to kind of clean this up a little bit. I'm pretty happy with most of the plant, but some of it needs a little work. But for the most part, pretty happy with it. Some of this out of the way. Get that in there. Get that in there. Put that in there. This needs some major digging. Let's get this dug out, and then we'll start running some material through and getting some money. We need enough to buy a trommel, which I'll probably have enough once the stuff's done processing over there. I've got the silicon and pay dirt and stuff, or the gold, diamonds and rubies working through the stuff. We'll get a trommel up, and then we can be selling our dirt automatically again, which would be good. I liked having that feature. I don't need to do this. I just think it looks better when it's not buried in the ground. Okay, and then you're coming off of here. So a little bit of hand digging here to get this cleaned up. Get out of here, plant. Don't need your kind around. I want a guy right there. That'll give me a digging reference. I do like the idle sound of the loader. Sounds quite nice. Let's all this water. Get all the pipes back up in there. Okay, we'll put one of those there, and then we've got this mostly sorted. So we had our straight there, and then I need a left there, and then we had a down there. Need a little more digging here to make that all copacetic. Like that, and then we'll stick our straight guy right in there. Okay, that's looking a little better. Refine this part a little bit. Really had to wind down here in a strange manner. It's because we don't have vertical pipes. I know, it's not really a building game, but I mean, building a plant is kind of a big part of the game, so it'd be nice to have some more options. Hopefully we'll get more of those in the future. Alright, you're coming down through there. You need a little bit of help. You're buried in the ground. Alright, I think I can live with that. We need to see if it still works now. After all of that. I got the storage back on there for the coal. Whee! We got the, I know some people don't like all the jumping around. That's the only jump you can do. There's no other way to jump normal. And then I got the storage back on the other end. So we should get bars out the other side like we had anticipated. Good to know, though, that only loose stuff falls off the conveyor. It kind of makes sense. I'm down with that. Let's run some more material through and see what happens. I do need to take some time and smooth out this ground over here. It's getting a little bad. Alright, still have power. Still see smoke pouring out. There's been a patch. It said it improved the bucket interaction with the ground. And it kind of did in some ways. Other ways it's not. It seems to be a little less draggy when you're flat on the ground. At the same time, I've had it dig when the bucket was not tilted down. So you just gotta kind of figure out its little nuances. Work with it. Loaders need way more like torque, especially driving up hills. It's a process. If you go back and look at season 1, it's almost an entirely different game. We had the Cocoa Puffs dirt at some point back along there. I don't remember when that changed. Whee! It's a little bigger snootful there. Beautiful. Get some coal for the power plant. I need to get it filled back up. I took all the coal out of it and then I just ran material until it was out of fuel, basically. So I didn't waste anything when I moved it. And I'm glad I ran so much material because I burned through every bit of that $350,000. Thought thought, oh, that'd be plenty to build a new plant. Nope, not quite. But we're so much more capable now. Should be making bars automatically. Gold and silicon. And of course copper and iron if I bring it up from the mine. Speaking of, I'd like to have a conveyor, I think at some point, bringing that stuff up above ground. But that'll take a lot of money. There is a lot of metal underground. If we can get to it and bring it up in a timely manner. Alright, where's some pay dirt? I'm getting a little low on pay dirt around here. Need to do some more digging. Okay, got a little bit of a pocket up here. And we should have enough for a trommel now, especially if any of that stuff over there is done processing. And we can finally get our dirt back to auto sell. Alrighty, how we looking? You're running out through there. Perfect. How much power do we have? Or how much fuel? Yeah, we're getting a little low on the fuels. I'll let this run and we'll shut the plant down. Then when this is more kind of in its final form, I think it's fairly close right now. I want to get catwalks, you know, all that good stuff set up. Here we go. Got a bunch of coal now. Whee! Let's put about half of that in the power plant. And then when it has coal, it'll automatically fuel itself up. I did figure out you have to put the coal in here and then drag to here. And then it will fill up with fuel. It's a little strange. That looks like, I think that's done running through. I don't know how long it takes to get through all that. I think that's all through. Let's see how we fared. Everything work as expected? Let's go find out. So, yeah, we got all of you. Jump. Oh boy. Jump. Now, do we have ingots down here? Hey, we got ingots down here. Nice. And a bunch of dirt. Okay, we'll set up the dirt. So let's go see how our processing is doing over here in the little factory area. I've gone through so many wood blocks too. I've got 38 left. I'm out of logs, so that's all done. You guys are chugging away. Let's go ahead and... Oh yeah, let's just do this. Let's do that. Grab the pay dirt. Those guys going. You're done, but we can make some more rubber. We don't have to do any of the metal stuff here anymore. And I can just bring the silicon over here like that. And we're golden. I don't think I have any steel. Yeah, I wouldn't have been running any steel through here. Okay, we can sell that water. We don't need that. We'll sell that and that. We'll sell the dirt. Actually, I'm going to run that through. Oh, I still got diamond and ruby. How did I mess that up? Oh, duh. It's not the ore, dummy. Oh boy. I'm telling you, the absent-minded professor got nothing on me. I'll keep all these little bits and pieces for now, because we're going to need to set up the sell point. I'm not sure what all I'm going to need for that. We'll have to see. But I got the chute and the sell point. We got a little bit of coal here to work with. We got 16 grand. That's enough for a trommel. Trommel. 22 grand if we have it delivered, huh? Well, what about if I cheat my way down to here? Then how much do I have to pay? 17. That'll work. No, it won't. I'm a little bit short. I don't think I'm going to need any more of these up conveyors. Let's get rid of those. Then I can afford a trommel. Let's see if we can get a trommel in here and some dirt selling set up. So throw that. I've got the room there. Throw another trommel on there. That actually... Oh, it doesn't line up. No! I forgot this comes out the bottom. So that's not going to work. And now I need the up conveyor. Nice. Alright, well, let's see if we can make this work. So you're a... Yeah, you're going to have to be a right-hand turn. That's fine. Trommel's going to go on there. Yeah, we only have one block to go up, so I can't put a regular up block there. Daggone it. If I go that direction, then we're too far over. So I think I'm going to have to do that and then come back around and go up. Or I could go one more over that direction and then, yeah. All right, well, I'm going to need more conveyors, unfortunately. Let's see if we can make this work. We got our straight 2 meter. Roger that. So we come over 1 and then we go right. And then if I have the trommel on here, do I have the... I need to go over 1 that way. I need to go 2 out. Okay. Trying to do these mental calculations. Let's do a straight 4 this direction. Then we come back to the right. Then we're right against that. Oh, and then I need to come over. Oh no, my straight 2 is already on there. So we need to come over 1 and then to the right. Then the trommel. And then I should be able to put a 4x4 up, which I just sold. And make that work. I knew I should have kept those. Conveyor up 4x4. Yes, please. I drove to town a lot, and then I decided, you know what? I don't want to drive to town anymore. Ta-da! So now we should have our dirt coming out here. Do I have any corners left? I don't. I've got these left, and then my sell point and my chute. Terraforming? No problem. Can I just stick the chute on here? And then stick the sell point under it? What do you think about that idea? So if we put some blocks here and set the sell point on that. Get rid of all these flippin' bushes. If I had those there. That would drop right in there. Why are you bushes even here? You're buried half in the ground. I kind of wish if you place something, it would just remove those. That would be so much simpler. Alright, then we need to come over to here. Let me make a little divot so I can tell where I'm at. Okay, we can make this work. And that will sell our dirt off. trauma will sort out dirt. It'll sort out dirt and pay dirt. Since we've already processed the pay dirt, it'll just sort out the dirt. And it will sell. And we'll clean up some of this dirt just so we're not like wedged into the dirt. I think that looks even more ridiculous than that. And that looks pretty ridiculous. Oh, I didn't move it down far enough. One more this direction. Ta-da! Alright, that should, in theory, auto-sell the dirt. It's a good theory. Oh, didn't turn this on. That should go through there. So the dirt gets sorted here. It goes through there. It's going to get sorted again. And then it should sell. Our money should start ticking up. There it goes. Beautiful. What's not beautiful is it's just floating in the air. Can't have that. Let's get rid of all these bushes and crap. Every game should have a clutter cutter. When you place a building object, it should remove foliage. That's my opinion. My opinion, and a $5 bill, you can buy yourself a coffee. Here we go. Sort of looks like it could be sort of held up by something and not falling down. Ooh, that's clipping into there. That's no good. Here we go. We're selling dirt automatically again. I like it. We don't need these. They're just kind of not doing anything. We'll get you set up like that. And yeah, it's a big, giant, convoluted mess. But it's my big, giant, convoluted mess. And it mostly works. Mostly. I don't really like this overhang over here. I forgot to dig all this out. I can work on that between episodes. I think this one's gone on long enough. Yeah, it's going to take a lot more digging. Might even get back in here with some explosives and the loader. Oh, we also need an unstuck button. I guess you can use the rescue me for your unstuck button. Yeah, we're going to have to get that cleaned out at some point. But anyway, I hope you like the new plant. It's got some possibilities. This is not going to be its final form. I think there's some tweaking that could be done. Just need to make some more money. And we can work on improving it. I think it's a good start for a new, bigger, add-on to the plant where we got some automation now. We're cranking out the gold and the silicon bars. And I think the smelters, the big smelters, are faster. Much faster than the little manual guy over there. So we can crank out that gold and silicon a lot quicker. And I can use the little manual smelter to make the rubber. I'll probably buy some more small wash plants to process the diamond and rubies. Kind of wish there was a way to automate that, but at least right now there isn't. There's a decent little pocket of pay dirt right in here, isn't there? I'll be digging this out from behind the plant for sure. I would always get questions about stuff like these plastic concrete A-frame, whatever they're called, A-barriers. These barriers, they're part of the decoration DLC. You can get a lot of cool little stuff like that in the decoration DLC. So that's where that comes from. Anytime I use those, somebody inevitably asks. So if they watch the whole video to the end, now they know. If they didn't, they'll ask in the comments and I'll answer. It's all good. That'll be it for this one, folks. Thanks as always for watching. And I'll catch you in the next one. Happy digging.